Hey,
All right, I've started the recording, so that's a full disclosure. And the reason I started the recording is I'm driving today. So fasten your seatbelts. Diane's computer is broken.
oh no.
Yeah, so I'm driving. So why don't we're not starting yet, so I'm going to do it. This is just a test, guys. What do you see?
Said you started screen sharing. There you go.
Okay.
So
You
you
did
see,
it.
so it
Service
works.
above self.
Okay, that's just a practice. Diane has let me down.
Stuff happens.
Everybody's there. Anybody's SunTrust being converted to First Horizon today?
What was that?
What?
Are there any SunTrust bankers that are being converted to First Horizon?
I
No, not
well,
me.
One bank that's SunTrust.
Yeah.
I thought SunTrust was Truett.
No, that used to be BB&T.
It was Truett, but First Horizon picked up just the Eastern Shore and some North Carolina branches.
so is that
okay.
is that your bank, Randy?
Pardon me?
Is that your bank?
Was, yeah, trying to make it that way. I've been on the phone for 3 hours today.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
So if I sound a little disgruntled,
okay. Don't be grumpy.
hey, I see my buddy on here. Walter, how are you?
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Doing, Randy?
Good.
And I'm not going to say yet, but we have a surprise guest.
Uh-oh.
Randy.
There's
Hello.
we got two Randys.
There you go.
Good.
Life couldn't be better.
Right?
And we've got Bill Murphy and Bill Stram, who's on mute.
Okay.
Randy, you're flooding my inbox with all this golf cart stuff. You are an idea man.
Yeah, I wonder if any of them are good.
Hey, look, I never met a bad idea.
I have.
All ideas, and I'm recording them all. And this afternoon, I'm going to organize everything so the committee can begin to come to a decision.
4:30.
Well, we're approaching the noon hour, so you can start fellowshipping.
Stanley, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great now, but I tell you, I just saw my doctor today. Just got back. Gave me a clean bill of health.
Good.
It's a B business.
The only thing I have now is this wrist splint on my arm for possible carpal tunnel.
Okay, we've got some noise here. So, Brittany, is that you with that open line? Oh, yeah. Okay, we cleared up. The doc is coming on.
Okay.
I want to say hi to my neighbors who I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Walter.
Yeah.
Andy.
Oh,
Hey, Walter's back.
uh-huh. And
Right.
Bill, have you done all the gardening for the day?
I've done all I'm going to do for today. Absolutely.
We admire all your hard work, and we appreciate that. Looks wonderful.
A lot of it's out of boredom. It really is. I'm just kind of overhauling all the sprinkler heads, one or two at a time.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Hi, Chuck.
I've got some work to do at my place if you're too bored.
I'll let you know.
Who's on 3089?
That's Mike,
Hey, Mike, why aren't you on television today?
because I'm up working at the Welcome Center by the bridge tunnel today.
Oh, good for you.
So,
Well, hello, Mike.
do we
Hi,
know
everybody.
who else is on the phone?
We've got Bob Church, and Jeff Holland is taking up two phones. No. Actually, he's only taking up one. And we've got a surprise guest that I'm going to announce in a little bit. And let's see, who else we have? Okay.
Who's Brittany Cannon?
Okay, we've got another background noise person.
The phone guy.
Oh, hey, Mike, you got to put yourself on mute.
Well, can you do that on the phone? I guess you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike, I don't care who's visiting the Eastern Shore. Go on mute.
Here's the bread ready to go in the oven.
Oh, that looks good.
Somebody go down to the Welcome Center and shoot Mike.
Hey, Chuck, did you ever get a hold
What
of
was
Tim
that,
Smith?
Walter?
I'm baking bread this morning.
Oh, that's your bread. Okay.
It's go in the oven as soon as it gets to the right temperature.
Hey, what
Yeah,
temperature
Bill.
do you bake bread?
4:30.
Bill Murphy, yeah, I just had the, Mike Smith. He was here just a little bit ago. So it's definitely the control panel is blown out. I got voltage up to it, but no display.
That's
So
kind
he'll
of
be
what I
back
thought.
with a new unit.
Okay,
So
I'm
we
gonna
got
see if
5
I
people.
can mute Mike.
We got 5 people on the phone now.
Walter,
Yeah.
that bread
Hello,
looks
Yeah,
good.
one person is. No, we've got 4 people on the. Yeah, we do have 5.
this is Diane.
Diane, welcome.
Okay.
Hi, Diane.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Diane.
So who's the
Okay,
fifth?
I'm going to mute Mike. Ah,
Thank you.
that did it.
So,
Okay. 2 more minutes. Oh, there's Regina. 2 more minutes of fellowshipping.
Walter, is the bread still coming out good?
Oh, it is. The oven is not quite to the right temperature. I'm going to put it in. It'll be there for half an hour, and I'll show you the finished product before this meeting's over.
It's hot enough outside. Go ahead and put the bread outside to bake.
It could turn up missing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's late. I had to try to put the pin on.
You're not
I think
late.
for ladies with manicures, they need to make something else.
So I still don't have an answer to my question. Who's the 5th person on the phone?
Let me just check here. The 5th person was Diane.
No. We got
Okay.
Mike.
We got
Bob.
one line is Jeff Holland. One
Got
line is Bob Church.
Right.
One line is a secret guest.
Oh, secret guest. Okay.
Yeah, one line is. Are you recording this for your notes? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, and the other line is Mike.
Mike
Okay.
has been silenced.
Okay. Well, here we go. Rotary motto.
Service above self.
above self.
Yeah.
All right, please stand. Put your hand on your heart. and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the
to
flag
the
of
flag
the United States of America
of America,
and to the republic
the
for
republic
which it
which
stands,
stands
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and
liberty
justice
and
for
justice for
all.
all.
All right, please join me in a moment's silence. Thank you. Stanley, your chimes destroyed the silence.
Did they? I thought it made it nice and
I thought it was they were
serene.
pleasant.
Yeah, it kind of worked in, I guess. Okay, I know you've been waiting for this, everyone. Today, we are honored to welcome our guest, Reverend Kelvin Jones.
Oh,
Hey,
Kelvin, we're going to put it to you today heavy, but not right now, because I think this is your third visit, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know what that means. Okay, a few announcements, and we'll move on. The meeting's being recorded. I want to thank Regina, Rudy, Bruce, who's not here, and Chuck for collaborating and putting on an outstanding meeting last Tuesday at Central Park. It was simply outstanding. We had close to 30 members and guests. We had a great meal that Roberta put on, and a good time was had by all. So we'll think about doing that again sometimes. I think in this case, juice was really worth the squeeze. It took a little effort, but it was worthwhile. And another thank you goes out to Bob Church, who's on telephone here, and Dennis Libby for organizing the highway cleanup not last Saturday, but Saturday before last. I guess that was the 14th. And it wasn't an easy one because the grass hadn't been cut.
Mm.
And guess what? They cut the grass the next day.
They were waiting for all the trash to be removed.
Somebody reported that they got chiggers or a mosquito bite, but that was the price we had to pay. Heads up for the membership, and I wish we had more people here today, but the Rotary is working on the feasibility of a golf cart raffle to go after really big bucks. We've got a 6 or 7 member committee working on that. Some of the committee are here today, but just a little heads up that's coming down the road. We missed our 4th of July crab cakes, and that's typically $5,000. So we got to make up for that somehow. So we're going to figure that out. Burtis isn't here, so we can't beat up on him about the nomination committee or the awards chair. So I think he's just missing the meetings on purpose. But I do have an exciting announcement. Paul, get ready. Paul is now a Paul Harris Fellow +3. Paul, hold up your pin. See those 3 sapphires?
Oops.
Congratulations, Paul.
Great.
Yeah, congrats, Paul.
That means that Paul has contributed at least $4,000 to the annual fund. And all we can say is, Paul, congratulations and keep up the good work. Paul is a member of the Paul Harris Society, along with Bill Stram, which means shut your mouth.
And Bill Payne. And
Shut your mouth too, please. You guys have big mouths. Which means they get a sapphire every time they turn around. It's really nice. So Paul, what do you have to say?
Goes to a good cause.
Absolutely. Anything from the membership?
Taylor, how you doing?
Come on, guys. I mean, is it that hot? Your brains have gone toasted on you? Hey, Chuck, I know you have something funny to say. All right. I won't press it, but I've got a treat for you today. And just hang on. Okay, do you see a picture?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I recognize that.
I've seen that. This is a really nice video.
Yeah.
Oh my. Ooh. Look at those kids' faces.
Walter, I want to thank you for that. Walter sent that video to me, and I thought it was worth sharing with the club because I'm convinced that it's not broken.
Oh, it's not.
And you know, it might need a little paint, but it is definitely not broken.
Jack brought good advice, but I think he got schooled playing basketball by those kids.
It's even better when you hear it with sound, but,
Yeah.
but it's a very good video.
I heard the sound, so you didn't hear the sound?
No, we didn't hear a sound.
Oh, I didn't turn the sound on.
Right. Yes.
It was still good.
But there was
Yes.
there were captions.
Yes.
And what I'll do is I'll send it to everybody so you can replay it with sound. See what happens, Diane, when I drive?
Yes, I do.
Hey, Bill, didn't know if you noticed, but John Burtis is home with us now.
Ah, John, turn yourself on.
Hey guys.
Okay,
Hey,
John, we looped. We're gonna go back and loop over some announcements that we didn't make because you weren't on board.
Oh, okay.
Sounds
ominous.
The board has, and with the support of the full membership, has made you chair of the nomination committee.
Really?
Yes.
How about Walter? Walter's been on vacation. We haven't seen him forever. He needs to do something. He can be my co-chair.
So John, we've already voted on it. So
it's too late, huh?
It's too late. But what you do, John, is you recruit a couple of people to work with you. It is a committee, so you might ask Walter to work with you and somebody else. But your primary mission is to find and commit a president-elect.
Okay.
No, I think you already know you are chair of the awards committee, right?
No.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to dial in more often here.
You've been missing too many meetings.
I'm moving to Exmoor Club. They don't do anything up there.
Now, we can be talked into giving that to somebody else, but not today.
Okay.
And the awards committee, the notion for that came about with Bill Murphy, who really wants the club to be recognized annually. And the only way we can get recognized is we have to track things that we do that are worthy of note, so that we will qualify for some awards. Hi, Mehdi.
Hi.
Hello.
So we'll come back to that, but you're definitely chair of the nomination committee.
Okay.
We got an E-Ray award this year, didn't we?
I'm sorry?
Didn't we get an E-Ray award?
Yeah, but Bill, we don't have time, but Bill will tell you that we could probably qualify for about 20 awards if we just put the package together.
Well, and Bill Stram can speak to that too, because he was on the awards committee this year, I believe, and I was last year. And a lot of those awards, the nominations from the different clubs that I saw, we do just as well. We do the same things, but and we just need to be a little more diligent about keeping track of them and applying for them. I mean, we don't do it for the rewards, but when you see the same clubs pretty much get the same things over and over, you think, well, we do that. We should be able to do that too. So, that's the main reason I think we should go more for the awards.
Yeah, we don't want to be known as the chopped liver club. So we'll work on that. Now, Calvin Jones, you are indeed a special guest. And because you're a special guest, I'd like you, before we do Happy Dollars, to share a few words with us on what's going on out there.
out as in what I'm doing in the community.
Yes.
We're still, well, right now we're waiting. We took a break from the kids' meals, and we're waiting to resume that. We were waiting to see what the school was going to do and see if we could do some major event of feeding and lower end and the upper end of Northampton County. So we're working on that and just still being very diligent with taking care of our seniors and providing and watching the COVID numbers as what we will continue to do to assist our community and in dealing with the pandemic. And our reentry program at the jail is going to resume in full swing August 17th with 2 classes, 1 male class and 1 female class. We just graduated 5 young men last week, and the judge was our commencement speaker. And so we're trying to keep busy and do good things.
Thank you. I was jury chair for the grand jury on Monday of last week, and the judge asked me to tell him all of what he should say. So part of what he said, I had some input to. Happy about that. But
Yes.
Is there a picture there, friends?
Yeah.
Happy dollars.
That's not it.
No, I see a clock
You don't see a happy dollar?
and weather.
The weather report.
Weather report.
Okay, let me
See
try
you,
again.
Daddy?
Diane, don't you ever no show again.
Bill.
What?
Bill, before we go to happy dollars, 2 things. First of all, who's Brittany Cannon? And secondly, you might want to unmute Mike Wajda.
Yeah, maybe. If we get a lot of noise. Well, Brittany is Jeff Holland's assistant, who is going to bring Jeff on. And look, I am totally screwed up here. Oh, hold on, maybe this is what I need to do. How's that?
There you go.
Dollars? Happy dollars?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize for that. But who's got a happy dollar?
I got $5 happy dollars for a great social. Everybody pulled together. It was very relaxing. It was nice being outside and seeing everybody.
How many? How many did you say?
$5.
Nice.
Wow, thank you, Regina.
You're welcome.
You know, $1 will do, but 5 is great.
Well, I have a happy dollar. Make it 3 because my family arrived this weekend for a brief stay with me, and it was a wonderful weekend. My granddaughter, my grandson, and my daughter came to see me this weekend. So I'm putting $3 happy dollars for their visit.
Thank you, Medi.
I'll give 10, Bill.
Woo!
Oh.
We have 10 holistic health coaches graduated last week from my team across the country. So I'm going to give $1 for each of them. So $10 for today.
Great.
Wow, Reggie. Business is going gangbusters. I guess you want the virus to stay here for a while.
No, we want it to go.
It's one of those mixed blessings, right, Reggie?
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm going to give a happy dollar because I'm happy that Walter is here along with his Randy, And many of you don't know this, but since I've met Walter, he's had a problem with a crazy, he used to call it a wild nerve, that just gives him a horrendous headache. And I'm so proud of him because he's never grumpy, even though we know he's hurting. And he's always got positive attitude, positive spirit. And he's learned that the problem has probably been diagnosed, and in about a month, the remedy will be applied, and Walter will be a new man. And I'm going to pray for you, Walter. And
Thank you, Bill.
we all wish you the best.
Thank you. And I'm going to put in 5 happy dollars because I have an appointment to drive down to Florida on the 16th of August, and I will come back without a headache.
All right.
All right.
I've got $5 I was going to put in, and just seeing Walter, but that's even better. And Randy, that's maybe 5. I'll put 10 in because Randy's there.
I'm going to put in 5.
And $5 is regret not being able to come to the meeting the other night. I'm sorry, it sounded like a really good meeting, but Sheila and I have been conscripted into grandchild care, as Paul understands, and sometimes that changes your life and schedule. But anyway, I understand you had a great event. I'm happy to see Randy and Walter. I see Randy out and about from time to time, so she's allowed out of the house. So $10 for the whole deal.
And Bill, I'd like to add 5 on top of that for Walter too, because I just heard about this the other day myself, and I spoke with Randy across the street last night about it. So we're all hoping that this will be the final cure, because I know a little bit more about Walter's condition and how long he's been battling it, and it's been a long fight for him. And so we're all hopeful that this will finally be the end chapter of it.
Thank you.
I have to go along with another 5 for Walter because we're buddies.
Thank you, one and all.
And can I put in $5? Because the reason he's not grumpy is because he leaves that up to me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy. So I will get on the bandwagon, and $5 for Walter, since he's right down the street, almost as close as you are, Bill Payne. And then I also want to give another $5. I have my daughter and her family, my 2 grandsons and her husband, coming in for this weekend. This may be the last time that we see our grandsons and my son-in-law, because they be flying to Germany as soon as they get their diplomatic passports.
Thank you, Bill. I think that's just about everybody. So we'll see if our guest speaker is in the wings, and bring Jeff Holland on. Brittany, are you and Jeff ready?
Good afternoon, Captain Bill. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Jeff, how are you? I'm sorry we can't see you, but we have a picture of you up here. I think if you don't know Jeff Holland, there's something wrong. I consider Jeff a very good friend. You know about him running the bridge tunnel. Everybody knows that, Jeff Holland, the bridge tunnel. But what many of you don't know is Jeff probably spends more time in the community than he does at work. I don't know when the man sleeps. Every time I think I'm doing something good, there's Jeff running it. When I was asked to join the community college board, Jeff was chairman. Jeff is everywhere. The guy just gives of his treasure. He gives of himself, of his energy, and his most recent exploit was putting together the Shore Community Corps that has just been a blessing for people who can't get out to pick up their prescriptions and groceries. And Jeff, in addition to giving us an update on the bridge, if you would share with our membership what you've done with and I know I intend to embarrass you, so I hope you're embarrassed. But if you would share what you're doing with the Shore Delivery Corps, I think that would be worth a few minutes as well. So if you can take control of the screen here, you can put up your slides. You don't have any sound associated with that, do you?
No sound, except having to listen to me, so I apologize.
It's your show, Jeff. Thank you.
Okay, can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
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 Super. So thanks goes to everyone for Shore Delivery Corps. 110 volunteers, Bill, 2,200 calls, 1,500 deliveries, and the premise is simple. Doing what we can to help our friends and neighbors who are at the highest risk of COVID-19 complications. We started in March and we are still going. We now have abbreviated hours Monday through Friday. Every Monday through Friday we deliver from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And overall, we unfortunately are staying engaged as a result of the anticipation that we're going to have to amp back up to what were days that lasted from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, can't say enough about the awesome volunteers, the retailers that have worked with us, the folks that have contributed vans and gas. And it's just really great to see the Shore pitching in to do whatever's necessary to help keep primarily the elderly, but others who are high risk due to other complications at home. So, the thanks goes to everybody else, and overall the coordinated partnerships with the school systems and the food bank, and ever more important for us to all take the silos down and work together when there's a need. So anyway, so Bill, thanks for mentioning it, and we thank everybody for making it such a success. So please stop me if you have a question or comment. We want this to be interactive. Bill said we've got about 20 minutes, so I want to make sure that you're updated on the projects and overall answer any questions that you may have. I've spoken to you all numerous times. When the crab cakes were mentioned, I can't help but think the first time I presented approximately 20 years ago, Grant Robbins basically gave me an ultimatum that if I was going to present, I was going to have to buy and help deliver crab cakes. So kudos to Grant. So I think Grant's now 96 last I've heard and doing fairly well. So that's a blessing. So in 56, commission was enabled, bonds were issued. Overall, the original crossing completed unbelievably in 42 months, which is a mammoth accomplishment. $137 million in total cost. Many interesting facts about the original construction. My favorite, the survey towers, you may have heard me say before, had to be built 100 feet above mean lower low water to transverse the curvature of the earth over the 17.6 miles from Fisherman's Island to Virginia Beach. That really just puts in perspective how mammoth an accomplishment the original construction was. When you transition to the parallel crossing, phase one, we realized in the late 80s, unfortunately, due to the growth and the amount of fatalities on the facility through the late 80s and the overall delays that people were experiencing due to accidents, incidents, overall collisions, maintenance details, that there was going to need to be a parallel crossing. We sensed the best way to make sure that the public was well aware of that need was to go to the General Assembly and identify all the reasons as to why. We received unanimous General Assembly approval, something that we all are well aware is an anomaly to get unanimous approval to build the full parallel crossing in 1990. Excuse me, to design it, and the construction started in July of 95. And that parallel facility, which included everything but the tunnels, that took 46 months. So it took four more months than the full original crossing at a time where technology was much more prevalent. Total cost right at just over $250 million. And when you cross the facility today, everywhere that you cross but Fisherman Inlet Bridge southbound is the parallel facility. The northbound facility primarily is that of the original facility. I'll pause there for any questions, Bill, before we continue to cruise on. Everybody good? Okay. So when you look at the project significance today, you all see the growth Route 13. Take a guess, COVID has had an impact on throughput travel. Commercial has stayed much more vibrant than passenger traffic. So take a guess in terms of the maximum reduction in traffic we've seen since the onset of COVID-19 and the resulting impact on the shore corridor. Couple guesses. We've been down 70%. Whoa. 70% at its worst. And, one of the things that I think we realize now more than ever is we have been very, very reliant on a whole occupational subset that has been taken for granted for years. That's the long haul truckers. They have kept the economy and the healthcare supplies and the overall supply chain going at a time that's been a challenge for them. So you probably have seen it if you've crossed the facility recently, the VMSs where we are, the variable message signs, that is, where we're thanking those long haul truckers, we're thanking those healthcare workers for helping us at such an unfortunate time in our country. You're well aware of the lack of a viable alternative route. For those of you that have lived here since the 60s, you remember well, 1970, the John Yancey broke through the facility, actually crossed over us twice. We were closed for 42 days. So ferry service ensued along with the medically necessary helicopter trips and one of the things that we do not want to experience again is those that have to take that overall round trip up through the Bay Bridge and back down to get to Hampton Roads, approximately 8 hours in total. Oversized escort loads, we have 600 lane closures per year as a result of loads that are unable to travel in the facility, with other vehicles being in the tunnels primarily. Ordinary maintenance work approaches 1,200 hours of maintenance work a year. Bill, your comments were too kind. The favorite 3 words on the shore are damn Jeff Holland. But if we don't do this maintenance work, this facility gets caught up in a reactive mode. And once you become reactive, you're losing the game of infrastructure preservation. Age of the existing tunnels, they're approaching, hard to believe, 60 years of age. Improvements in levels of service and safety. Virginia Beach now directing many of their overall tourists to utilize the shore corridor to avoid the parking lot of 95 and 64, and then correspondingly allowing the tunnel depths to increase while we wanted to maintain 70 feet at a minimum with future ship traffic necessity. With the new tunnel, we're going to be able to provide approximately, we will never see it in our lifetimes respectively, we'll be able to accommodate 90 feet. Where's your money go? We're not subsidized by the federal government, state, or localities for our operations. So first of all, the sourcing, 83% comes from revenues, 2% from lease income, 15% from investment income. One thing to work hard for your money, another to make your money work hard for you. You can see the alignment of the plaza, both fairly similar One of the things that we've done as a result of COVID is we've put the automated cash and credit and debit machines adjacent to where the collector typically is, in making sure as much as possible that we accommodate folks that don't have Easy Pass and don't have the electronic means to pay, if you will. May beg the question in your minds, why have you gone to pay by plate such as other toll facilities have? And the answer is simple. That is a waste. 30% of the overall revenues that are collected by pay by plate at other facilities in the country are never collected. Okay, so bad business move on the part of these other facilities. For ourselves, the other part of this that's important, ever more important for us, for the safety of the traveling public, to be able to get the vehicles used to slowing down. We're such a unique crossing, so many unique characterizations of the commercial needs that are out here. We want to train our traffic to slow down. We get a better handle in the event that there is that commercial vehicle that's too wide, that's too high, so that we can actually take and make sure that they are not in any way, shape, or form a negative to the traveling public that's traveling the roadway along with them. About 75% of our revenues are collected via Easy Pass. Congress stated that by 2016, we would have an overall reciprocity that was available throughout the country with one technology. That has not worked well, so you still have the regional territorialism, Easy Pass being the largest network of overall transponder collections in the country. We hope in 3 years that with pilot projects we're working on with Florida and the like, that we get to a point where we will have, regardless of the specific area, one technology that will be collected across the contiguous United States. In the interest of time, I'll continue to cruise. The Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel Commission, very sensitive to make sure that our overall rates are on average per lane mile with other marine facilities in the region, not comparing to the Northeast, which is typically 2.5 to 3 times more expensive. So this gives you an overall detail of where we are in comparison to the other facilities. And as you can see, we are the lowest. I always like to compare to the ferry between Lewis, Delaware, and Cape May, New Jersey. Reason being, were it not for this fixed crossing that's a result of the vision of Lucius Kellum and other pioneers from the 50s, we would not be in a position to be able to offer seamless travel at such, comparatively speaking, low rates. This is the industry accepted benchmark. Drill down, you can see that someone who in fact has a passenger car, maybe just traveling one way without returning in 24 hours, they're paying 61 cents a mile. Again, no federal, state, or local tax money is used to operate or maintain this facility. Where does the money go? When you look at our uses, fiscal year for us goes through June 30. We still have not completed all of the final accruals for fiscal year 2020, so we're looking at the most audited fiscal year 2019 numbers. You can see the snapshot of the pie, the largest of which is future year parallel tunnel project expenditures. We have to save what we need for the future. And instead of using the age-old depreciation methodology that so many businesses have become accustomed to using, we use the modified approach to infrastructure reporting, where we rate every facet of our facility objectively with third-party unrelated inspectors. Those ratings are available to you, the user, so that you can see that your toll money is being plowed back into the infrastructure. Very important. And our future capital projects, of which we shaved our capital project plan by approximately 20%, with the concerns of the elongated impact of COVID, being sensitive financially to make sure that we were going to be able to conservatively afford it. A accommodates what our needs are going out approximately 15 to 20 years. You can see the other expenses, bridge and tunnel preservation is just that, what we spend to maintain what we already have. You may find it interesting, other operating capital expenses, we are continuing to try to drive down our electrical consumption, primarily with LED light integration. I hope that's something that you all have found to be a positive as you travel the facility. You see the new lights that we're installing on the trestles and in the tunnels. So the parallel Thimble Shoal Tunnel project, everybody knows that's going west of the existing Thimble Tunnel. You can see the project timeline. In total, it takes about 10 years once you start planning, get the environmental approval, do the contracting, do the award, and then proceed to do the design and then the construction to get a large-scale project completed in this country. This parallel Thimble Tunnel will be open in 2024. You can see the results of the procurement, the low proposer who was technically compliant, Chesapeake Tunnel joint venture comprised of Dragados and Schiavone. You can see what we wanted was to enlarge that number one island, only island that's publicly accessible. And we realized that overall we had champagne taste on a beer budget. You can see that low price, $1,016 million, well over the overall needs price of the $756 million, was not worth $260 million to essentially have a development out there on number one island. Commission readily pared down to keep it just at needs and not wants. The fishing pier, importantly, will remain very important for us to be sensitive to those who love to fish, to be able to fish channel side against, right, basically next to a major channel such as Thimble Channel, without having to own a boat, without having to pay expensive head boat rates. They're able to come out on the facility with a van full. Those who enjoy fishing, able to fish round the clock, and that whole pier experience will be more enhanced and enjoyable than ever with the designs that will be integrated in the construction by Chesapeake Tunnel Joint Venture. Yes, sir.
No.
Okay. This construction is very different than the original construction. The immersed tube tunnel construction, of which the original construction was comprised of, is 18 different tunnel sections that were joined section to section. The tunnels were built in Orange, Texas. This is a tunnel boring machine depiction that will be utilized for the purpose of excavating the mile-long tunnel. And as it goes along, it will encapsulate the overall tunnel opening with segments. There's 10 segments to a 6-foot wide ring. Each segment's 20,000 pounds. In total, each 6-foot section of the tunnel, in summary, will be 200,000 pounds, 18 inches thick, and correspondingly much more efficient and environmentally friendly for conducting a project of this magnitude. There's your tunnel boring machine that's completed in Herrenkonecht, Germany. The tunnel boring machine currently is being prepared to transport down the Rhine River to the Netherlands. From the Netherlands, it will be transferred over to a transatlantic U.S. flag vessel, brought into Norfolk Customs, going through the certification process, transloaded to a barge, and then the barge will come out to our number one island. The picture that you see there on the left is that of Grace Bentley. We opened up the naming of the tunnel boring machine to all the schools on the shore, as well as the schools in the peninsula and south side. Grace, right here from the Eastern Shore, won the naming contest, and that name forever be depicted as a result of her winning that design. So what's happening out here? Bill, I'll pause again in case anybody has any questions.
Jeff, I have an engineering question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that the new tunnels will, it sounded like, about be about 20 feet deeper than the original tunnels in order to accommodate deeper draft ships. How does that work with keeping the current tunnels that are not as deep? How do you end up being able to handle deeper draft ships if the current tunnels are not sunk deeper or removed?
So I've got a slide here that will better answer that question. If you don't mind waiting for about 5 minutes, and I'll get to that if you don't mind. And if I miss it, remind me, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. So what you see before you is the existing cover over the immersed tube tunnel. That cover was the last thing that was placed for the purpose of making certain that we had a conservative factor of safety as in terms of the operations and maintenance of the existing facility. So this is a staged, if you will, photo rendering of the construction sequencing. So the armoring rock where the alignment of the new tunnel is going to be bored is removed. Cofferdam is installed. That cofferdam is filled with approximately 800 to 900 PSI engineered fill to make sure that tunnel boring machine, as it bores from south to north, from one island to two islands, never comes in contact with H2O, never comes in contact with the water. Okay, you can see at the bottom right what happens with the fact that it is much safer to do the tunnel construction this way because the protective cover is on top of the cofferdam before the overall tunnel boring machine even leaves one island. Very, very exposed during the original construction because you had 2 million cubic yards of material that was excavated. All of the tunnel sections were placed sequentially. Many floating rigs operating over the area of construction before the actual protective cover was placed on the existing tunnel. Just the inverse here. All the protection is complete. Everything is ready. And the last thing to occur is the tunnel boring machine hits go. So you can see the scour protection zone is enhanced to make certain that the area where the tunnel boring machine takes and essentially goes down at a 6% slope from number one island down to where it will be at its lowest, 150 feet below mean lower low water in the channel, and then surfaces at two island, that on each side of its deepest elevation, there's plenty of protection to preempt there ever being a concern with the overall area of exposure. What you see here is the actual construction taking place on the right. So we're looking north to south, and you can see the restaurant is gone. You see the fishing pier is still there. That fishing pier will be taken down to the piles and then built new up from the pile sections. The man-made trestle is extending as a work platform to begin the overall cofferdam construction, and that cofferdam will be filled with the engineered fill tunnel boring machine. As you look up the right side of the island, the launching pit is being prepared. All the tunnel walls are complete. We've got some closer pics that may provide a better snapshot of that. Here where the piles are being driven at the abutment to form the beginning of the cofferdam. You can see out on that trestle in the background the overall specialized excavation rig with the Furman hammer that's taking and drilling through the 15-ton armored stone, providing the pile protection and foundation for the trestle from which the construction is taking place, again, to protect the area where the tunnel boring machine will be advancing. Another picture looking from the west to the east of that same rig driving through the actual rock with the steel casing for the piles. Those three orange tanks that you see, those silos, that's jet grout silos along the island. here's an overall picture. So now we're to the west of the existing slope section that we refer to as the portal or the boat section that provides cars ingress, egress from the existing tunnel. We're on one island looking to the south, and we are between the boat section of the existing and the boat section and the guy walls that were built for the new tunnel. And that new tunnel portal is going to be about 250 feet to the south of the existing. So in many ways, one of the riskiest parts of the job are complete both on 1 and 2 islands. Here you can see between the wall sections where jet grout has already been applied and the underside of the overall base slab has been stabilized. The excavation has occurred at grade to be able to begin the launching pit where the tunnel boring machine, once it's here from Germany, will be placed after the concrete base slab, which is about 9 feet thick. That pour itself is very, very substantial, and that's the reason the earth underneath of that needed to have stabilization and had also basically to be, we'll say, to generalize, to be sealed to preempt any overall water pressure from building from the base of the island up through the base slab. So all that has been complete. And now essentially they're putting the bow tie on the little boy, preparing the launching pit for which the tunnel boring machine will be placed. Okay, I'll stop there for any additional questions related to what we're looking at. Okay, this is number 2 island. As work completed on 1 island, the same crews, in this case, the wall crews that were subcontracted to Bencor completed all the wall sections on number 2 island. And you can see in the background on 2 island near the vent building, the silos on the left and the jet grout being applied on the right. They're working from south to north, and the same thing will occur here. As you are taking and approaching from B trestle, you'll be able to see when you're southbound the overall excavation commence as the jet grout is completed for the purpose of being able to provide the graded section to get down into the new tunnel approach. Differences between what you experience today with the existing crossing and what you'll experience with the new. Importantly, you'll have 2 12-foot wide travel lanes enhanced with 2 2-foot shoulders, 1 on each side. You'll have a full concrete jersey barrier on each side of each shoulder. You'll have access doorways, 9 throughout the new tunnel, that you can utilize to be able to leave your vehicle if there's a fire or smoke inhalation in the tunnel due to a vehicular accident, and be able to get into a fire-safe plenum. You can see the characterization of a lady that's walking through that plenum in the cutaway. You'll be able to walk a full mile north to 1 island, south to 2 island. Depending upon the location of the fire, you'll be advised via a voice-over system which way that you'll need to go. Also safe plenum, safe from hazardous materials that may otherwise have gotten into the driving envelope of the tunnel. All LED, there's a full fire suppression system the tunnel will be enabled with. The overall drainage system, much more enhanced than what we currently have today. The tunnel sections, instead of being graded as our current tunnels are, or excuse me, instead of being crowned, the new tunnel will be graded from west to east at a 2% grade. You can see over the plenum, the conduit that's run for the purpose of getting all of the conduit that we convey, besides just the vehicles, fiber conduit, electrical conduit for our own supply of power down into the tunnels and across the facility, and other overall lease communications to cell phone providers that are in the tunnel as well.
Right.
Here's where we've been, and we're currently in the construction phase. Notice to proceed to. Where did the money come from? The general fund of the district, toll revenue bonds, and then we access 2 infrastructure programs to enhance the revenue bonding, TIFIA loan and a VTIB loan. Very important that we provide everything that the public may be interested in viewing. If you haven't done so already, go onto our site to access any of the documents related to the project. We send out emails approximately once every month with updates on where we are with the construction. The public is not able to access the island because of primarily the safety concern we have for folks getting out on that island and being exposed with a massive amount of construction that's going on in a very tight environment. What we do is we provide tours on an infrequent basis for the purpose of being able to get folks out on the island. That has been, that's hit timeout as a result of COVID, as you can imagine. That's something that this club is interested in doing in the future. Just get up with me and we'll make sure we get a good date on the calendar to get you out on the island. So deepening, the overall Corps has approved, working with Congress, the deepening of Thimble Channel from the existing 50 foot of elevation to 55 feet. You can see the phasing of when each and every aspect of that deepening is going to occur. Getting back to the question we had earlier, so the board tunnel, when you look at, and this is not the scale, when you look at the overall elevation of the board tunnel, the top of the tunnel will be at -105. The bottom will be at -150. When you look at the existing, under the Thimble Channel, the elevation of the existing is -63, going all the way down to approximately -105. So essentially, the bottom of the existing tunnel will be at the same elevation as the top of the new tunnel, okay? So begs the question, for 55 feet of channel depth, can we accommodate, once that channel is dredged completely, the ship traffic that will be utilizing 55? Yes, we can. We can accommodate very easily up to -58. What we're doing is we're in the midst of working with the Corps, working with the ports, working with Pilots Association to sequence a hardening of the existing cover over the existing immersed tube tunnel to make certain that we have greater factor of safety than what we have today, given that we are going to have approximately 7 to 8 feet of our cover that's dredged. So we do not want to expose our existing Thimble tunnel. Begs the question, 30 years from now, were we to go through the same process and we were to take and dredge the -55 foot Thimble Channel, 58 with overdredge, down to -63, could we accommodate that? The answer is yes. What we would do is something that's never been done in the world. We have a conceptual engineering design to take and lower the existing tunnel sections that are non-graded to be able to accommodate another 10 feet of dredge capacity for the purpose of providing ingress egress to the all-important vessels that come in and frequent the Virginia ports, okay? Never been done in the world. 30 years from now, when the existing subset of infrastructure from the original crossing is 90 to 95 years old, one of the things that would be evaluated is, are we better off doing a phased deepening of the existing tunnel by sections, or replacing the tunnel from vent building to vent building? And that's a decision that will be based on other variables in motion at the time. But to answer the question the gentleman had related to what happens to the existing, I think this probably gives you a fairly good preview of potential things to come. Okay. Mentioned LED light installation. You can see that when you look at where our snapshot in terms of a pie of utilization comes from, tunnel lights 45%, tunnel ventilation 24%, you add those two together, 70% of our overall power consumption, if you will, is due to those tunnels. So one of the things that we're doing is skinnying that consumption and increasing the quality and the clarity of the lighting with what we're doing in mostly a self-performing capacity with our construction crews and the LED light installation. So importantly, we want to be transparent in many ways. And so besides the website and besides the overall updates that are very important from a traffic perspective, join us via tweet, join us via Facebook, join us via Instagram to get the updates in the interim of when you're otherwise getting the project updates from myself. So we'll stop there, and I look forward to answering questions you have. And thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jeff. I do have one more question. I was interested in your conduit system. I was going to ask about that. Are you looking at revenue raising by allowing other companies to utilize that conduit system from one shore to the other to extend fiber? For example, Cox Communications and Verizon Fios from the western shore over to the eastern shore. Are you looking to lease out some space in your conduit to raise some revenue and extend their services over here to the shore to be competitive with what we have?
So we currently do that already. We have about $125,000 a year in lease revenue from the conduit rentals that we provide. We are unable to detail, but I'll give you a snapshot. We're in confidential conversations with 4 large companies that have taken and have done a transatlantic burial, 1 from Europe and 3 from South America, to Virginia Beach Corporate Landing Park. And from Corporate Landing Park, all companies want to get to Landover, Maryland. Given the massive amount of tower farms with the transitions that occur there, with multiplexing. And so we're in confidential conversations with those entities as well. I don't want you to have a false pretense that that will end up resulting in more competition for the overall residents of the shore, of which I'm one. That would be an overall end-to-end termini without having any access along the points of Virginia, Maryland, because that's their business plan, not because of anything we have control over. So we're looking at that as well. And then we constantly are evaluating technologies along with the Eastern Shore Virginia Broadband Authority in both counties to better utilize the conduit that's already in place being utilized by the Eastern Shore Virginia Broadband Authority. One thing you may find interesting, because of this conveyance, okay, most people think we're bringing technology from across the bay to the shore. The largest client of the Eastern Shore Virginia Broadband Authority is Virginia Beach Public Schools. They are able to get greater technology at a better price from the ESBBA Broadband Authority than they are from their competitors across the bay, which I find very interesting. So it's a two-way street, if you will.
Thank you.
Any other? Yes, sir. Thank you. Questions? Any other questions?
I have a question, and
yes, sir.
that relates to the scheduling of the boring machine. Is it on schedule as was originally planned, or was there some delay about a year or so ago that caused it to be postponed for its delivery?
So the tunnel boring machine itself has remained on schedule. The overall delay has been all of the construction that has to take place at number 1 island to prepare the launching pit to receive and to mobilize the construction of that TBM once all the parts and pieces are here in the Commonwealth. So that original delivery timeline in the original schedule, project schedule, was probably some 18 months ago. So it's been delayed by 18 months, primarily the result of not anything to do with the construction in Germany, but for the purpose of preparing the launch and pit at One Island. For you all being the constituents of this facility, it's important to know we have a fixed price overall contract. So regardless of the timeline, that fixed price remains, even to the extent that if there are more than 30 days over the original project schedule, the contractor owes us liquidated damages of $15,000 per day, okay? The reason that that's structured in the contract is for the purpose of being able to take and properly manage with the inspection staffing to assure that we're getting a great durability factor rating on the project, getting what we have in the contract, and we want to make sure we can continue that overall phased inspection program, regardless of how delayed the end-all completion of the project may be.
Any other questions for Jeff?
Yeah, I have a question about the guest amenities where the restaurant.
Yes,
yeah, will there be like a museum amenity connected there? Where you learn about the construction of the CBBT, will there be a museum component?
Okay, so we will not have a museum, but what we will have is an area where we have the overall public that stops at that island will be able to walk in and be able to glean information on all construction that has taken place on the facility. And that would be automated so that individuals are able to view what is very unique. I mean, this is in and of itself an engineering marvel. We want to make sure that we are able to transparently communicate that to folks that do stop in at the only publicly accessible man-made island. And as I mentioned earlier, that fishing pier will be enhanced and open 24/7, 365.
Jeff, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Jeff.
I'm going to ask the membership if they're interested in Jeff's slides, if they're available, to let me know, and we will ask Jeff to send us a subset, if not indeed the slides. So Jeff, you have a great day. If you would disconnect yourself from the sharing, I have one more chart to share.
Give me 1 second. And thank you all for the opportunity, and I appreciate all that you all do for the shore as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Back to you, Bill.
With regard to what we think, say, and do, one, is it true? Two, is it fair to all concerned?
Turn.
3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
concerned.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.